Welcome back to Pop Tabs, keeping tabs on all your pop culture news. I'm your host, Matthew Yapp, and joining me today is...
Isabella Torres.
And...
TT Shinkan.
Oh my gosh, my graphics gals.
Yeah.
You guys are both so wonderful. So first off, we're going to apologize because we have a bit of a camera issue today, as you can see, so it's a little weird, but we're going to make it work.
Yep.
You know who is not making things work right now? Nike.
Uh-oh.
They're having a bit of a rough time.
Little.
Yeah, if you've avoided the internet at all cost, right now Nike just launched a new campaign. It is being led by Colin Kaepernick, and if that name sounds familiar to you, well, it's because it should. Colin Kaepernick rose to fame after he was one of the leaders of the kneeling during the national anthem movement during the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't know football, guys. Don't worry about it.
It's okay, I know a little bit. You're good.
That's why she's here. But a lot of people found this offensive. They felt like he was disrespecting the country. Kaepernick and many others said that it was a take on the Black Lives Matter movement and felt like kneeling during the anthem was representing the fact that they don't feel like the anthem represents everyone in the country. So people are pretty offended by that, and now they're offended that Nike has launched a new campaign with the tagline being, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. So, right off the bat, what are our thoughts on this, TT?
Okay, I'm gonna start off right now. I don't agree with what he has done. I'm like, kneeling, I'm all for doing your own thing. Like that's like protesting, doing your own thing, but there's a time and there's a place for that, and this is a sports station. This is like a sports thing. I can't think of the word right now, but every athlete has done this, no matter what. No matter what their differences are, every athlete has stood up and they have stood up for the anthem. Mm-hmm. So my own opinion is I do not agree with him kneeling during the national anthem because, in my own opinion, that's disrespectful for everyone who has fought and died underneath the flag. But please don't get angry at me.
Don't worry about it. No one's mad. But what do you feel about Nike sponsoring him?
First of all, why? Not because of that whole thing, but he's not a good player. So why him? That's the thing. There's numerous other athletes that have done the kneeling thing. Yeah. Why him? He's not. Then again, I'm not familiar with football as much as baseball or hockey. Yeah. But I know there's a lot more other better players out there that should be the face of Nike. Right. Except for him.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm not going to talk like I know a lot about athletes. I'm not a big football
Are
person.
Are we the prime person to come to for your sports news?
What I'm trying to say is I'm not the person to talk about athletes and their stats and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not really having a problem with who the guy is, but I think it's nothing new that athletes are becoming more than just people who are good at sports. They're becoming figureheads for a lot of stuff too. And that's fine, but I am personally okay with this. I know that the kneeling for me, I think it might be common knowledge, hopefully. I'm sure some people know that Kaepernick talked to a former soldier or someone, and he said that taking a knee like that was to honor wounded soldiers or fallen soldiers, and that I think is an appropriate thing.
He was originally setting during the anthem, and then he had a conversation with I believe it was a Green Beret who told him that it was more respectful to kneel. So Kaepernick started kneeling to make sure it wasn't against soldiers; it was just against. Yeah,
and that I'm totally for. Yeah. I think that's a good symbolic thing to do, and it's respectful, and it's not disrupting anything per se. But I think when people either don't know that or just go to automatic assumptions.
I did not know that, so thank you for letting me know about that.
No problem.
Changed my opinion now.
I
didn't know about it a day ago. We learned things. But yeah, I think that's great. And I'm more than happy that Nike is sticking with it and not backing down and be oh no, we got to change our advertising right away. I think it's a good move on their part.
Personally, I'm all for the kneeling thing. I think protests should be peaceful, but I don't think it necessarily needs to be polite. That's the way I've
Yeah.
always looked at a protest. Anything that
point.
really gets things done, anything that gains national attention, like a protest would like to,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily have to be the way society wants it to be, or else change won't come.
Yeah.
So I was all for the whole kneeling thing. And I really love the Nike campaign.
Yeah.
First off, best slogan. Like,
It's a pretty good slogan,
Yeah,
actually.
like,
yeah.
yeah.
It
Yes.
really gets the point across.
I would say it's really, because like I think it is very impactful, and I think using him was absolutely, like, listen, Nike still uses child labor, unpaid. That's my issue with Nike. I'm gonna throw that out there.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, Nike
no.
is still using a lot of unpaid labor. They don't always treat their employees the way they need to be treated. That's why I would say protest with Nike. But sure, because like you don't like an athlete, sure, that's why you're gonna be angry at Nike.
Yeah.
But beside the point, great slogan from Nike. You're not gonna see me rocking their like. I'm not gonna be rocking that swoosh anytime soon. But I really enjoy the campaign. I think it was absolutely a calculated move
Definitely.
by Nike to use Kaepernick because now, just because it was Colin Kaepernick, everyone in the country is talking about it.
Yeah.
Like every major media
Yeah.
outlet, everyone on Twitter. It was trending for so long. Like everyone is talking about Nike's new campaign.
Yeah.
But something they are talking about is it started with a gentleman on Twitter who tweeted that he was cutting the Nike swoosh off of his Nike sock.
I saw that.
Yeah. And he was like, Nike, take this and imagine it multiplied by millions. And I don't mean to laugh at you because you are doing something you believe in. But sir, they have your money. And all you did was cut off the swoosh, like, so now you're down
Yeah.
a pair of socks. Nike does still have your money, sir.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think?
Honestly, I might not agree with them using him, but why are you destroying your Nike products when
Right.
you've spent like, I don't know how, they're not like the cheapest products in the
really
world
aren't.
either.
What are you gonna wear? You're about to rock some like Jans.
Exactly.
You're about to go like rock some Jans.
Are you gonna
for us?
switch to,
Exactly.
like Adidas or something?
Yeah.
I mean, I have a pair of Nike running shoes for when I work out, just whenever I feel comfortable and I don't want to wear my boots or whatever.
And you didn't burn them?
Oh, no, because I spent like $50 on them. I'm not
They're
going
way too pricey.
Communist.
you know, but I am not going to take my lighter or my knife and just be like, I hate you, Nike. Here you go. I'm going to show you. Like, why? Like, even if you don't
ridiculous.
agree with someone, why are you destroying a product that's probably worth more than your life? So it's worth more than my life. I know that
Well,
because I'm worth like $1.
I hope a lot of you have lives worth more than $50. You all do. Please, if you feel like you don't, call this suicide prevention hotline number shown below. Thank you. Isabella, what do you think of
Oh
this?
Lord. Yeah, it's pretty dumb. Why would you waste all that money to just burn it eventually? Like, I don't get it. I've been seeing this pop up on Facebook for who knows how long at this point, and everyone's saying, like, if you're gonna destroy this stuff, donate it. Donate it.
Exactly.
A big thing that I'm seeing is donate to veterans, which do that.
Yes.
I saw a dude who was like, he put it in a box and returned it and got his
Yeah.
money back from Nike. That's almost
Yeah.
like a good idea.
Right.
But like, yeah,
That's
'cause,
like the most sensible thing to
if
do.
Yes.
I have zero issues. Like if you're like, I don't want to wear Nike anymore. That's
Yeah.
totally
that's-
up to you.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Like you do you. But like,
It's what
you're
you do
not
with
making
it.
Do you remember when Keurig did something similar where they had like they commented on the whole Black Lives Matter thing and people started smashing their like $200 Keurig? You guys, money doesn't grow on trees.
It doesn't.
Like you gotta chill for like 2 seconds.
Right.
Or at Starbucks when they did the whole like holiday things that didn't say Merry
Oh, yeah.
Christmas. People
Oh,
went
yeah.
and bought Starbucks cups to write Merry Christmas on them, as
Yeah.
if you weren't paying Starbucks for your protest. So,
Right.
yeah.
If I could it's weird. You know, like those videos where it's like how to eat like a certain food. Someone doesn't like it, they just
Yeah.
throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna do with Nike is next. Like,
Like, you
how are you
bought
gonna wear
something-
Nikes and you throw it away?
To waste it. Like
Yeah.
you're wasting your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It's infuriating.
It doesn't make sense. Like like destroying these products logically doesn't make sense. Making sense is what you said, donating them to like the army or homeless people. That
Yeah.
makes sense because they need it more than like apparently you do.
Yeah.
Well, and something I think is very fun is the fact that rather you like Nike or not, Nike does have the NFL contract.
Yes.
So all their uniforms are going to be made by Nike.
Exactly.
So yeah, we can all get mad, but like Nike, all the uniforms are gonna have a little swish on them. So if you're like super NFL and that's why you're against Colin Kaepernick, hope you're burning your jerseys too, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got your Nike swish on them.
Can't imagine how expensive those are.
No.
People pay a lot for that.
Yeah.
I just went out of my way to buy Michael Jordan basketball jersey, not because I like Michael Jordan, but because I like Brendan Urie and he wore one. But that stuff gets expensive.
Oh yeah, I
Very
have a
quickly.
White Sox jersey, and I don't know how I got it for as a gift, but I don't know how much. Like those will go for like $150
Easily, yeah.
Like I just like if I want like a White Sox jersey now, I'll just buy like a boy's like extra large or a boy's large because that's a lot cheaper than
Right.
an $150 like plain white jersey.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much my dad spends on those kinds of hats and jerseys. and all
yeah.
that.
That's already
He's a White Sox fan too, so.
Go
But-
Sox.
Things are expensive, what we've learned
Yeah.
here. But
Yeah.
back to the story.
That's the point.
So, it kind of, TT, you already brought it up, but do you think that Colin Kaepernick deserves, we'll say, to be leading Nike is a sports brand, a sports brand's like new campaign? Because I can't understand that like he wasn't the most phenomenal player
Exactly,
at his time
yeah.
in the NFL, and he hasn't played since 2016. So, do you think it's fair, deserving for him to be the head of a campaign?
This is hard because like my whole opinion was, you've heard it at the beginning, but after hearing like he talked to like them about all that, I'm still a little iffy about that just because you don't know the whole big story about that, about why because I can't go inside of him. I don't know how he thinks. I mean, I don't.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I hope you don't go inside Colin Kaepernick. Continue. I had to do it, okay? Continue.
But I still don't agree that he's the face of it. Like, there's still a lot more. Like, there's better players out there, again, who have done this, who have like taken a knee. I don't know. I just. You guys debunked, like, I'm sorry. No, you're
We
fine.
sent you down the river.
That's okay.
Isabella,
That's okay.
what do you think on it?
I don't know. It's like, I want to say he is, because I don't know if I'm right on this, but I'm pretty sure he's had a pretty long relationship with Nike, from what I understand from the research that I did. And it's been a positive one. And did you say earlier that he was like one of the first athletes to take a knee like that?
Yeah, and he was one of the most prominent, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like with that in mind, I think he kind of does deserve to be it, and it's fitting that he is. But I think the only bad thing is that with that, and him being the most prominent figure of taking a knee, is all that negativity that's
Right.
coming in. So I would say yes, I think he does deserve to be it. Again, I don't know crap about his like stats. I don't know anything about his stats as a player.
He threw a ball, man.
Yeah, and he touched it down. That's all I know.
Looking at like, because I did try to look up his stats and stuff, and I'd say he wasn't terrible. He
No.
was like a mediocre quarterback from what I understand.
Better than what I
Yeah.
would do.
Yeah, much. But I kind of think that it's very odd to me that a player who has not competed since 2016
Yeah.
Yes.
would be it. However, I don't think Nike cares about sports. I also don't think
Yeah.
Nike cares about social justice. I don't think they care about anything. I think they care about money, which brings me back to my point earlier, is
Yeah.
that they just knew Colin Kaepernick, the reason he deserves to be the lead here
Yeah.
is because he's the craziest name in football right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Tom Brady, but that's just because he's kind of like a douchebag.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that Nike probably picked the best person for this campaign.
Yeah, and they wanted a reaction. Like, they picked him because they knew they would get a reaction
Yeah.
out of the masses.
Yeah.
And yes, there's people like destroying their Nike stuff, but there's also probably a lot of other people like going out there and buying Nike products because, like you said, their company, and they're all about that money.
Yeah, there's a gentleman on Twitter who bought $5,000 worth of Nike gift cards, and he gave them out. He was like, yeah, if you're like a struggling single mom, let me know. Yeah, because he supported what Nike did. And so he was like, if you're a single mom, DM me your like picture of your kid so I make sure you're actually a parent.
Yeah.
And I will send you a $100 Nike gift card. I have $5,000 worth of them.
That's amazing.
I want to support Nike and I want to support moms.
Yeah.
So, which like, cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah, and so Nike, they clearly knew some people would be attracted to it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, just because I kind of wanted to make people mad on Twitter, I really did want to order like just like a pair of Nike socks.
I mean, you'll be like
And just like screenshot.
$20 in debt. So.
Yeah, I don't care enough to make people that mad for money, but you know, it would be fun.
But like at the end of the day, kids, their company, they just wanted to get a sale.
Yeah.
They did.
They
but
did, yeah.
Their stock has dropped 3%. So
Yeah.
with that in mind, and with what we've seen with some people saying they're not, some people saying they're going more for it, do you think in the long run this campaign will hurt or help Nike?
You have to look at it from both ways, because yes, their stock might have been down right now, but that's just a few days after the campaign has come out.
Yeah.
Wait a few more days, then you'll probably see an increase in stock, because more people will be ordering stuff, more people will be like more articles will come out about like, we're all for Nike.
Yeah.
Here's why you should purchase their products. And there might also be like a representative from Nike coming out like talking about this whole thing, and that will get more people like, okay, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna purchase some of these products.
Yeah.
I would say probably not. You know, this is like just like very momentarily gonna be a negative thing. People are gonna like burn out of this. I feel like this is very trendy, I would say,
Right.
this negativity. No one's gonna stay burning their Nike crap for like who knows how long after this. So I think in the long run, I think they are gonna prosper from this. And it's probably way too expensive to change their advertising after such a short time.
Yeah.
So it would be a bad business move if they changed it right now, I would think. So I think they'll be okay. I think they're going to be okay.
I genuinely feel like after it's all said and done, Nike's gonna keep being the sports brand.
Yeah.
Like, because we have like Adidas and stuff, but it's Nike.
It's the biggest one.
Yeah, and so
by far.
people are going to go right back to buying their Nike merchandise.
Yeah.
They still want their NFL jerseys.
Yeah.
So they're gonna keep buying it.
Give it like a month, everyone's gonna forget about it.
Definitely.
And I really do. I think that it might attract like a new market of people who are like, Nike cares about social justice. They don't. They use child labor. And so,
Apparently something I didn't know about.
yeah, so, I'm sure some people will like get on with it. So we'll see. But you know what we won't see anymore? Adventure Time.
Oh,
It
my
ended.
heart.
Yeah.
No more adventures.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in like many years, but
Same.
it was there.
Me either. It was a
Yeah.
lifestyle for me. My
Was
God.
it?
It
Really?
was. Like, it came into my life. It changed the way I looked at animation and appreciated
Yeah.
it, how I loved it. I wanted to be a voice actress for a long time. It changed how I drew.
Now she does graphics for us. It's full circle.
Yeah, so Adventure Time was a really big thing in my life. And even if I haven't watched it in a while, it still left a big impact in who I am. And seeing it end was bittersweet, but I think it was deserved because it had a great run.
Yeah.
A really great
I
run.
love it. Well, what we're talking about here is Adventure Time ended after 8 years and 10 seasons. It was like a really popular children's TV show, if you don't know. And so we want to be just talking about if it ended. Oh no, they wanted controversy, man, kinda. They decided at the very end of their final episode, two prominent characters, Princess Bubblegum and Marceline, which those are names, they, both females, kissed, and oh my gosh, the gay on children's television, whoa. Whoa. So some people, the creators even admitted that they knew that there would likely be some backlash for it. Some people saying that we're never gonna let our kids watch Cartoon Network again because they're gonna make them gay now. And so what do you guys think on the whole thing?
All right. First of all, I started watching Adventure Time because of Marceline. I love vampires, and I liked her as a character. So like, I support this.
I like that there's officially on Cartoon Network a gay vampire and a gay bubblegum princess. That's a thing. That's fun.
It's beautiful.
What a weird world. But continue.
But like, why are people getting angry at this show when there's like shows like Steven Universe, where that entire like show revolves around like one of the characters has been like, we've known like they've been in a relationship for a while.
A lesbian one?
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, I mean, they're two rocks. I mean, I don't know what it is, but they're female rocks, I guess.
Female rock. I haven't seen Cartoon Network in a minute.
I like Cartoon Network.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway,
It'd be like that.
It really did.
honestly, like, it's just like being gay is like a
It's okay.
It's a part, like, it's what people are. It's like, why, it should just be normal with everything. Like, why showing that on, like, a children's cartoon, like, be any different? Like, just, it's normal.
It's normal.
It's,
Isabella, do you think it's normal?
Yes. Especially in the context of the show, they were hinting at a relationship between them for a super long time.
Yeah.
And kids who were new at that time that it was hinted at, and people who grew up with it still, I feel like they knew it was going to come anyways.
Yeah.
And for it to be confirmed, I think that's even better. So I don't think it's anything that should be just like, what?
What?
I think
The gays.
it's normal. Yes.
yeah.
So I also think it's normal. We would like to go ahead and say, I'm going to admit our biases. We're a bunch of young people on a college campus that's fairly liberal. So we recognize the fact that we're a little
Yeah.
biased in being chill with the gays.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't call them the gays. We're chill with gay people. But so yeah, we admit that we have a lot of biases there, but that's just our opinion. And there were plenty of people who were offended by this. The biggest thing I saw people upset with was the fact that, do you think it's okay for children's media to portray these things? Because that brings the question in, parents are going to have to talk to their kids about sexuality.
Yeah.
And that's something that not every parent wants to talk about at
Right.
such a young age. Because it's, even though it had gained quite an adult audience,
Yeah.
Adventure Time was marketed towards children. So do you think it's fair for a TV show to kind of force conversation with parents?
I would say yes and no. It's kind of hard because that really goes to the whole thing about accepting different types of sexualities in the first place. It's like if you over sensationalize it or like hyperbolize it to a point where like that's not normal, don't think that's normal, then that's going to make the conversation all the more harder.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you just look at it normally, like if little Billy is watching Adventure Time and he's all like, are those two girls? And then just like have that parent be like, yeah, you know, two girls, two boys can love each other. Like, it really comes down to how you react to it yourself. That's how you talk to it, or talk about it.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I do agree with you. I mean, the way I found out about how gay people like exist when I was younger was through like me watching things. Because like, yes, my parents and I, we talk about like all kinds of stuff, but like when you're young, it's awkward to talk about that stuff.
It is.
And by like watching something is like, hey, why are those two like guys kissing or two females kissing? It's like, oh, you know, like you said, like love is love. Like two guys can love each other, two girls can love each other. Like, you know what? This is completely normal. I think, in my honest opinion, I think it's like with like how our society is like turning it like more like media-based stuff and like how it different from like how I grew up and stuff. Watching stuff or like seeing stuff on like a screen is probably a lot. I mean, it's don't put your kid in front of a TV if they're like 5 years. Like, don't leave them if they're 5. Like, no.
Let the TV raise them.
No, please, God, no.
Quirky. It's fun.
But like, I feel like it's like them seeing like these things like just like normal and everyday like activities. I feel like it's easier to explain to your kids.
Honestly, that's my kind of opinion is maybe if we just put like gay relationships into TV shows, maybe you don't have to explain it to your kids. Because like, do you really think your 6-year-old son, if he like sees like two girls kiss on TV, do you think he'll be like, he has no concept of sexuality,
Right,
so
like
would
the
he be that
6-year-old's
mad?
not gonna get uppity, you are.
Yeah.
They're not gonna learn this in like their elementary school. Like it's better for them to learn it in like the real world or like on their own because like where are they gonna learn it outside of like school?
Because you said that your first like instance with gay people was on TV. Mine was too, except mine wasn't seeing anyone kiss. Mine was American Idol.
Okay.
Because it was not in a good context either. So if you go back to like old season of American Idol, there was always going to be like this one dude who came to the auditions who came in like a bedazzled skirt and like a crop top. And I remember being like, that's weird, mom and dad. And they're like, he's gay. And I had no idea what it meant, but I kind of thought gay meant like really effeminate. And I was like, oh, he's like gay is kind of annoying. And so like if in that context, like if you can make children think like gay people are like weird and insane, then maybe it's probably nicer if you could make like children think, oh, gay people are normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that being said, still, do you think that there's a possibility, because some people say there is, that seeing gay characters on TV will make kids want to be gay? Because there's plenty of kids who always like, I want to pretend to be Marceline, or I want to pretend to be the bubblegum one. I don't know the show, guys.
You're okay.
But I want to be the bubblegum one or the vampire. So if kids are pretending to be these characters, do you think it may influence a child to be gay?
Honestly, if they're not like overly like, that was just, I watched the clip. It was not it was just them like hugging each other and like kissing each other. Like there was nothing like, hey kids,
It was
you
what
need
you
to
would-
become, you need to be
It was
gay.
like the
But,
most fluff thing ever.
It was what you would see in a children's TV
Yeah.
show.
It was so tame. It's just like what you would see in like anything, like
Yeah.
any cartoon, any movie, any TV show. It was completely normal. Like I, honestly, if they like just do it like casually like that, like a normal like everyday thing, then I don't see a problem with like
Yeah.
if kids like just like, oh, okay, it's like just do it like normally and everything will be.
Yeah.
No one should get upset about that. Honestly, it's normal.
What about you, Isabella?
So you're saying like, will kids want to be gay after seeing
Yeah.
this?
Well, they're like, well, Marceline's cool. I want to be gay too.
I don't think so. I want to say no. Like they're gonna be whoever they want to be, and if they want to take influence from that, that's fine. But like, I don't think so. I think they'll be a-okay.
Yeah.
I think the kids will be all right.
Yeah. I'm of the personal belief, and again, this is my bias, but I think people are like born gay. Because like my one friend, Maisie Brammer, lovely little lesbian, she said like she knew when she was like 6 that she had feelings for girls. And
Right.
so if kids like already know what crushes they have, because I
Yeah.
remember I was in love with a young girl when I was in like 1st grade. Her name was Rebecca Day, and I was going to marry her. I knew I was in love with Rebecca Day. And so if like little kids like already feel crushes, and if you feel a straight crush or they feel a gay crush, then the kids are already developing those feelings. I
Yeah.
don't think TV is going to do that for
Yeah.
you.
Oh, no.
I don't think so either. Like
Yeah.
you can only take so much from TV. You can take a lot from what you consume in media, but like
Yeah.
who you are, like that's something
It's
totally
pretty
different.
fundamental.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally different. So I think they'll be okay.
They'll
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
But even more people were bad, kind of. Some gay people were actually offended because they said that this was an instance of queer baiting to an extent, because they found it very odd that they waited to the very last episode, pretty much one of the last scenes,
Yeah.
to finally give people gay representation. Another show that not too long ago got kind of flack for this was Legend of Korra. Legend of Korra also featured a lesbian relationship, and in that they basically like didn't even show it on screen. They confirmed it after the show was
Yeah.
over. They're like, okay, they were lesbians. And so do you think that if a TV show, a children's TV show, is showing like a gay relationship, they should show it earlier, they should actually show it, or do you think it's nice enough that they're giving it at the end?
I feel that the representation we're getting now, I think we're still, unfortunately, in a very early
Yeah.
time of children or LGBT representation in children's shows. So I think it's kind of early to expect like full-blown like
Right.
Yeah.
normalcy of all that, but it does kind of suck that it's like that, but I think only time's gonna get better. And Steven Universe, I think, is the ultimate like example of how to like integrate that kind of love into
Yeah.
the show regularly. I
Yeah.
think that's gonna be a good example for other cartoons to follow on.
My opinion goes with, I mean, honestly, it's fine that they waited till the last minute. If they would have put it in like earlier in the seasons, they would have seen outrage, but from a different group of
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and they would be like,
They might not have gotten their 8 seasons.
exactly, they might have
Right.
fought for Adventure Time to be canceled and ended a lot sooner than
Yeah.
now. So
That's a good point.
honestly, it just goes like, you can't honestly, you can't please everyone, and like you have to like, at the end, like people, they wanted their seasons, they wanted to get a number of seasons out, they wanted to tell this story too. So if that means just holding off this relationship till the very end, I mean, I'm sorry.
I personally think, at least in like children's TV shows, relationships are never really that important anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Adventure Time, it's not like any one of them was like, ooh, like angsty
Yeah.
Riverdale teen drama, like
Yeah.
who's gonna end up with who.
Right.
Like, in children's shows, it usually is just kind of like, oh, they're in love.
It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, and so like, I don't think it's impactful enough to a story in children's
Yeah.
media to
Yeah,
where they actually
agreed.
need it.
Kids want to see Finn slice like a bad guy. They don't want to. They don't care about.
Why aren't we talking about the violence in this TV show? Why?
Because Adventure Time was awesome.
It gets violent in that show. It's crazy.
You know what else gets violence though? Video games. And you
Oh,
know
yes.
what video game just happened thing? Riot Games.
Yeah.
You see where I got there, guys. So Riot Games, who is a developer of League of Legends, very popular. They make some other games as well, huge in the video game industry. They recently hosted a panel where it was meant to support women and non-binary folks in gaming. And so for the first several hours of that panel, it was only open for women and non-binary folks to come view it. Some people said that this was oppressive to men, because it's literally like, hey, anyone who's not a man, come watch this panel. So some people said this was discriminatory. Some people said that that was just their way of creating a safe space for women to talk. What do you guys think? Because you're both women and I'm not, so.
All right. So
tough.
they want like representation in the workforce, and they want like pretty much to be equal.
Yeah.
Is what it's Not letting men into like that's fine if they want like because I understand some men or some like other people like they would like voice their opinions and they sometimes those opinions can get like a little out of hand. But if they're trying to be like equal and stuff, by letting like a non-men like event, that's kind of straying away of like what they want. But like that's just my opinion.
And you're not the
Take
only
it to
one with that. Esports analyst Kelsey Moser said that it's giving women a bad image. She was quoted saying, "Events with a career in gaming bent that exclude men reinforce an archaic idea that women cannot coexist with men professionally. It is not the solution." So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
That, like, if you have women's only events, it kind of makes it like men can't be in the same space that women
exactly.
can.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that too. It's like that kind of goes against with what they were trying to do with inclusivity of women. It's like by excluding people. That's like
yeah.
it doesn't make sense to me, and it definitely leaves a bad taste in people's mouths, which I totally understand. So I agree with a lot of what you said, but I can also see what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to have like a definitive, like I agree with this, I don't agree with this kind of thing on this subject, because
I know if there was like a male only like event, I know I would be a little upset. Like why can't I go in there? Like what's so special about like this event that I can't attend?
Yeah.
So like it's okay if like the men are getting upset about this too, because like here's an event, here are the restrictions, and the restriction is you can't be a male to attend this event like after like before a certain time.
Yeah.
I would be upset too.
Yeah.
I would honestly I would be upset no matter like what gender I was.
Yeah.
If there was like a restriction for me based on like my gender, I would be upset.
Yeah.
Well, despite the fact that I'm a man, I was chill with it.
Okay.
No,
There you go.
I feel like it's been shown by a bunch of different psychological reports that having single-gendered events is actually a really healthy and good way. It's
I didn't know
a
that.
good way for people to like kind of feel a sense of camaraderie with the room, even if you don't really know people. You know, you all share this one common experience, and that being your gender.
Okay.
I also feel like since the panel was specifically about being a woman or non-binary in gaming, then it makes sense that we're going to be women talking about it.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were like, you can never be here. It was like the first 2 hours of the panel, it was just for women.
Yeah.
After that, the men could come in. So it doesn't surprise me that, we just need a little bit of time to, do women things.
Yeah.
Two women.
Do women things. But yeah, no, I feel like it's very fair that they wanted that amount of time.
Okay, yeah.
Like bro culture is a huge thing with Riot Games too.
It
Like
is.
supreme bro culture is very hard to swallow. So that definitely got in the way of what people were looking at, the lens people were looking at this through.
I say, because you hear all the time about women who are literally just trying to play a video game, and some dude is like, get back to the kitchen, 'cause you suck at like FPS, nerd. And so, like, I can see why you'd want a panel to just be like, isn't that lame, guys?
Yeah.
Isn't it chill that we can sit in this room and not have that happen for a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that just, like, stands for, like, I mean, I don't play video games, so, like, don't, like, quote me on this or anything, but, like, what that sounds like is that's just, like, one, like, part of, like, that's just one person, like, representing an entire, like,
You're
thing.
throwing out the baby with the bathwater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then, again, it was, like you said, it was, like, a woman in, like, industry thing, so, like, I understand, I get that. So, yeah, it's...
Now, do you think this is specifically a gaming issue like we're talking about, or do you think that this is just culture as a whole? Because like we've said, like in the gaming industry, toxic masculinity is insane. Like it's such a boys club. And
It's
so
hard to not choke on it. It's crazy.
yeah, would you feel better or worse about this if it was like a movie panel or something, or would you feel about the same?
I think I would feel about the same, because if it was like, let's say it was like a women in like design thing, I would still want like males like, or like guys like opinions on like how they feel about like women in the industry and like their what's the word for it? Experience. Like tell their stories about like all that stuff. Like I would still want like, I'm the type of person, like, I might not agree with someone, but I do want to know their opinion on why, like, they think that way. So, like, getting everyone's, like, opinions and, like, everything, like, out there in the open will help me, like, understand, like, okay, so I still, like, women in the design industry, like, you're rocking it, but, but I still want, like, those differing opinions and stuff. Like, that's, like, if we don't learn from, like, if we don't take those opinions to heart, how are we going to learn from and like adapt from that?
Yeah, I completely agree.
And yeah, I think I'd feel the same way too, whether it be a movie panel or a video game panel, anything like that. It's still hard to understand both sides, but it's weird. But trailing off what you said, I do get it. And in reference to your other question, I think this is a culture problem as well. Not even just a video game problem. But it's just really people's attitudes that that need the workaround.
I really do believe that it's just we as a society, we've seen in the past like year and a half that women are not being treated in the same way in society.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's heightened in the video game industry, and so I do feel a little bit different because I think it makes perfect sense that in the video game industry, women are like, we need to talk just with ourselves. Please. Just please leave us alone for 2 hours. So it makes sense to me. But I do completely agree with what you guys are saying, that like it's a little exclusionary, but
it's like ironic in a way.
A bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
We feel excluded, so we're gonna exclude you guys for a few hours.
It's weird, isn't it?
Oh, but any closing thoughts on that or anything else we talked about today?
Adventure Time was great.
Yes. I can't get enough. My ship has sailed. My ship has sailed.
I don't play League of Legends, I didn't watch Adventure Time, and I don't like sports, but I sure do know that Nike uses child labor. This has been Pop Jabs. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry again for the camera thing. We'll be better next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.